quarterback being one of them, which was important because we didn't get one last year. Some DBs, a bunch of DBs because we lost so many, and 4 O-linemen all here early. So, to me, those are the things I see as being really, really critical.
Coming off a tough season, didn't affect you adversely?
No, I think it did a little bit. Obviously it would help if you were recruiting off of 10 wins, but I think what a lot of kids saw was an opportunity to come in and play early, and that's what we sold. Coach just said that we sold playing time, sold coming in, playing early. We don't have a big senior class and we don't have a big junior class, so coming in and playing early was a thing we sold big time.
And that seemed to be attractive to the guys, to the young guys?
Yeah, I think the playing time was big. I think a lot of these guys, we finally had a chance to recruit them for a year, which last year I thought we came in, talk about behind the 8 ball, we were way behind the 8 ball. This class we had a chance to recruit for a year. This 2014 class, the next class, we've now had a chance to recruit a year from now for 2 years. So I think kids, when they committed to us, they committed to Coach Beckman, committed to the program. We got a lot of things to sell. You bring up the 2 wins. We sold everything but that, and sold the university, sold the academics, sold ourselves. And I think we've got a great young staff. We've had some newcomers come in that I think added a little bit at the end. Coach Cuba did a good job there at the end, finishing up. And I think we finished strong. A lot of these commitments were early commitments. And then we went out and were able to get a couple of difference makers late. Paul James will be that guy. That was a late difference maker for us. With a couple of these wideouts, Marchie Murdoch, DJ Taylor, guys that were January commitments. I think those guys are critical, big pieces of what we're trying to do.
Coach, how excited are you for Aaron Bailey?
I'm excited about Aaron. Aaron is a heck of a player. Aaron won a state title as a junior. Had a little bit of adversity with a knee deal this year, missed some games. Aaron is a phenomenal young man. Really, really good kid, great family. He's one of those kids when you're around him, you smile because he brings that to a room. I think all those things you look for in a quarterback. I think Nate has a lot of those intangibles. Riley has a lot of those intangibles where he kind of walks in a room and he's the quarterback. I think Aaron brings a lot of that to the table on top of being a really, really good player. He played in an option offense, didn't throw the ball a lot. I think if there's one question mark on Aaron, it's can he throw? We've seen him throw on numerous occasions. We think he's going to be in really good shape.
Coach, who are a couple of sleepers in this class that people might not know about that you think have a chance?
Man, I don't know. Sleepers. Man, oh man. Jared Clements was a kid that transferred his senior year and missed a large portion of his senior year with a knee. So a lot of people may not know about him, although he was a high-profile kid before he got hurt. That's a name that comes to mind. Bryce Douglas wasn't a super heavily recruited kid, but we think he's going to be a special player here for us, and not just because of the family background, but because he's a 340-pound D tackle that punted for that team, that's athletic, that can do a lot of those things. Those are probably the 2 names that come to mind. Marchie Murdoch wasn't a highly recruited kid. You watch that film, I think to the average person, watch that film, he's a special player. Those are the lower profile kids that we're really fired up about.
What about the tight end Tyler White?
Yeah, Tyler, that's another one. Tyler White's a kid that we were his only offer at the time we offered, and kid that we went and saw play live and thought, whoa. I don't know if nobody knows about him or just didn't see him at camp or what the deal was, but there's a kid that runs in the low 11 seconds in the 100 meter. That's 6'5", 245 pounds. That's just a big athlete. I think that was a good get for us.
A lot of good athletes on the defensive back position. Is there another word besides athletic that you might describe that position as in the class?
No, I think we took. There's probably 5 guys in that group that have played wide out, played DB, and I think the reason why they played a lot of wide out or played quarterback or running back is because in high school you want your best player to have the ball in their hands, So I think it's a really athletic group. Some kids that we've even as a staff offensively joked around about, man, it'd be nice to get that ball in that kid's hands, and I think Coach Beck brought that up at the end. He said we're going to get the ball to the guys that can make a difference for us. So if some of those DBs can help us on offense before they can help us on defense, we'll take them. But I think it's pretty apparent we lost Terry and lost Justin Green and lost Shupo. So there's some holes to fill, and those are the JC needs, and see where some of those high school kids can fill in and get us out of this hump of being young in the secondary, because that's one place you don't want to be young, on the O-line in the secondary. So.
The big Ohio flavor in this class. Talk about the connections you guys have in that state and how big it was in the recruiting class.
Yeah, I smile when you say Ohio. That's where I spent a lot of my time. I think we got some really good players. I think Caleb Day will be a phenomenal football player here. Caleb was a highly recruited kid that really felt like this was home. Kid we recruited for a long time. Could play on offense or defense. Right now we're taking him as a DB. DJ Smoot, comes in as a DN, that Leo type. A lot of people compare, as a staff, we compared him to Whitney this summer. We said, here's a kid that looks just like Whitney, pass rushing, long DN. Austin Schmidt so far has had a really good winter for us here. According to the strength coaches, we think that's a really good take on the O-line. Christian Delores in that same mold. Those guys have gained like 15 pounds in the last month just since being here, and that's why getting those kids enrolled early is a big deal. And then Jared Clemens. Jared, we spent a lot of time on Jared the last 3 years, and it was nice to have him sign on the dotted line today.